The toxic people in your family, how to deal with them. How many toxic people have you encountered in your life? Everyone has at least one person in their family or circle of friends who's just plain toxic. The kind of person who causes emotional turmoil and makes everything in your life harder. If you have several such people in your life, you may feel like it's impossible to deal with them. But there are some things you can do to manage toxic family members and other types of toxic people, whether they're relatives, co-workers, or mere acquaintances. What you can do about toxic family members. The sad reality is that some people are toxic. Whether they're your family members, co-workers, or romantic partners, these people bring out toxic traits in you. But you can learn how to deal with them. Here's how. 1. Identify a person as toxic. You might have an idea that someone is toxic based on past experiences or simply a gut feeling about someone new. In either case, think about what specific things about that person make him, her, them a negative influence on you and those around you. 2. Get away from them when possible. If it's a friend who causes problems in your social life, avoid spending time with him or her when possible and don't keep him, her as part of your circle of friends on social media sites like Facebook and Twitter. What you cannot do about toxic family members. Dealing with a toxic family member is a sticky situation. You can't just go no contact with your mother or father, nor do you want to simply cut them out of your life. In cases like these, it's important that you know what you can and cannot do about dealing with these people. Here are some tips for identifying if someone is toxic, as well as what steps to take once you've figured that out. Cut contact with toxic relatives. If you're dealing with toxic people who are dangerous and violent, it's a good idea to cut off contact completely. Contact can include speaking on phone or exchanging emails. A person who is violent often feels a certain amount of power when they have control over their victim, even if that means just seeing them around town. If you're dealing with a truly toxic family member, or anyone else for that matter, try cutting off all contact. Under what circumstances should I continue talking to them? If a member of your family is constantly being critical, there's no reason for you to put up with that. If you must speak with them at all, keep it short and stick to neutral topics. It's important to note that if you find yourself feeling defensive when speaking with a toxic person, take a step back and ask yourself why. Are they trying to manipulate or control you? Do they have an ulterior motive? Is their criticism constructive or just plain mean-spirited? When answering these questions, be honest with yourself about what kind of relationship you want and don't want with each person in your life. What if they're trying to contact me? When you're dealing with a toxic family member, it can be hard not to answer their calls or read their texts, but don't engage, said Dr. Siciliano. If you get a call from an angry relative, send them to voicemail and don't respond. You have every right to protect yourself from someone who is trying to hurt you, she said. If they're trying to contact you, ask yourself if it's worth dealing with that person. You might need some time away from that person for your own sanity and well-being. What if they try to talk me out of my decision? The toxic person won't want you to make a choice that isn't what he or she wants for you. He or she will try to talk you out of your decision and might even try convincing you that it's ridiculous. The best way to handle a situation like this is simple. Just keep saying, I respect your opinion, but I have decided that I don't want any more. Under what circumstances should I reach out to them? It's best not to reach out to toxic family members on holidays, but if it's unavoidable, prepare yourself for drama. If you can avoid answering their calls, do so. They probably won't notice anyway. If they do call or text, speak with them as little as possible and try not take their attacks personally. When they decide they want another chance, how should I respond? In your case, there's a chance they were drunk or otherwise off their game. If it was just a bad day that should show up on repeat visits, maybe you can give them another chance and see how things go. Just remember that when dealing with toxic people, you have 3 options: change them, manage them, or get rid of them.